Kicking off this Monday with yet another House hearing, and this one ended with the Committee on Good Government citing in contempt 4 officials of the Office of Vice President who failed to turn up again.
5 others did show up today, but all claimed to have no personal knowledge of how the Vice President spent her confidential funds. Among the expenses in question were line items like food and medical aid that also showed up in the main budget.
Also, before that hearing started, the OVP's chief legal officer caused a bit of drama for refusing to take the oath and eventually had to be escorted out of the hearing. Here's Marian Enriquez with the report.
5 officials from the Office of the Vice President finally attended today's House Committee on Good Government hearing over the agency's confidential fund spending. Among them are OVP Director for Administrative and Financial Services Rosalyn Sanchez and Chief Accountant Julieta Villa del Rey, who have been subpoenaed before. Also in attendance were Chief Administrative Officer Kevin Jerome Tenido and Budget Division OIC Edeline Rabago. However, Attorney Emily Rose Torrentira, OVP Legal Affairs Division Chief, refused to take the oath, just like Vice President Sara Duterte weeks ago.
I am not an invited resource person. Second, that I have only been asked now to explain why there was no receipt for subpoena for the persons who are not present here.
Torrentira was reportedly the one who refused to receive the panel's summons for OVP personnel. Turns out she also doesn't have authorization from the OVP itself to speak to the committee. So the committee had her escorted out of the hearing. As for the remaining attendees, they were grilled about the good governance program of the OVP. Former Vice President Leni Robredo used to run a similar program, but lawmakers pointed out that the difference was VP Sara's used confidential expenses.
Please enlighten us. Bakit po pagdating sa programa, same program, good governance program of Vice President Duterte, biglang nagkaroon ng confidential fund, biglang nagkaroon ng maintenance of safe houses?
But all OVP officials present said they had no personal knowledge on how the confidential expenses were used.
Your Honor, the budget was proposed by the Office of the Vice President, and it would be for different programs, Your Honor. But as to the details, Your Honor, I do not have information on the specific details and items to be spent under the confidential expense.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, wala po akong knowledge doon sa disbursement and utilization ng confidential funds.
House lawmakers also questioned why there was medical and food aid worth around 40 million pesos in the confidential expenses of the OVP, when there were similar line items in the rest of the expense accounting.
Hindi ko lang maintindihan po, bakit kailangan pa utilize ng confidential fund if may existing na kayo na programa for food and medical assistance?
I have no knowledge about that. What I know, Your Honor, is that the confidential funds are intended for a different set of beneficiaries, or it is for a different purpose, Your Honor.
But then the committee also noticed almost 1 million pesos in medical aid that went to just one person, despite them saying there's a 50,000 peso cap in assistance.
The Office of the Vice President submitted. And in one of these tulong na binigay nila in terms of purchase of provision of medical and food aid is in the amount of 1 million pesos. No? So if the theory supposedly was that we are to cap the medical assistance at 50 para mas marami yung matulungan, bakit may isang medical assistance na umabot ng 1 million pesos?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I do not have information on that.
Okay.
According to the OVP officials who attended, it was Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta who would know the details of the confi funds. However, she's currently in the OVP satellite office in Mindanao. Acosta reports directly to VP Sara's Chief of Staff, Zulaika Lopez, who was also subpoenaed but was still a no-show at today's hearing. In a letter submitted to the committee, she said she has to take care of an aunt in the U.S. who was hospitalized and has no other relative or caretaker to look after her. Some congressmen, however, didn't buy this.
Siya lang ba po ba yung pamangkin ng tita niya? Wala na po ba ibang pamangkin? Wala na po ba siyang asawa na padadala? Because we are tackling so much issues about her. And this is a clear evasion, Mr. Chairman. I hope this is true. Because if this is not true, and we will be able to validate.
In the end, the committee agreed to give Lopez one last chance. She was issued another subpoena for next week's hearing. But as for the 4 others, including Acosta, the committee has cited them all in contempt despite their excuses. 3 witnesses said Sunshine Fajardo was the one who provided them monthly cash envelopes, while her husband, Edward, was supposedly the disbursing officer. Meanwhile, Ortoño is one of 2 officials who signed the checks payments linked to the confidential funds.
Medyo nakakapagtaka dahil pare-parehas silang umalis. Pare-parehas silang may travel order. Pare-parehas silang pinahintulutan na umalis sa araw na may hearing tayo. Now, it makes me think that there's actually a malicious intent behind all these reasons and travel orders given to them just so that they can, again, avoid attending today's hearing, Mr. Chair.
For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.